ॐ दक्षिणास्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशव वामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Now the armies are both ready and the conches have been blown. But suddenly Arjuna starts feeling that he should just stop for a while and see who are the people who are gathered there to fight with him. Now this is a turning point in Arjuna's life. Now Arjuna starts realizing that he is a samsari here. Now let us see what is this samsara. Samsara and samsara bandha, we always talk about that. That is this samsara and the bondage of this samsara. And every one of us feel this samsara and its bondage. But then Arjuna is feeling the acuteness of his bondage, the acuteness of his samsara now at this moment. Now Arjuna has faced so many adversities. He has been a recipient of adharma from the Kauravas all his life. And he has led this life struggling, preparing for this war. But nowhere did he feel this kind of an acute bondage of this samsara. I was asked a question after my last class, and one gentleman asked me that, why did Arjuna feel this loss of confidence or samsara when he fought with the Kauravas at the end of his Ajnatavasa? Now, the only reason is that I can tell you is that there should be a proper time, kala, for everything to happen. And there is something called as Daivam. And there in that war, when he fought the Kauravas to rescue the cows at the end of his Ajnatavasa, taking the side of the Virat Raja, that time Krishna was not there with them. Here, Krishna is there, the Guru is ready, and all these years of samsara which Arjuna never felt, now the time has come, and it is the Daivam or the grace of Lord that he has to feel the heat of this bondage of samsara at this moment. Take all of us, any one of us, all of us have felt this. We have been going through so many adversities and problems in our lives. But then all the time we don't feel this bondage. But then there is a critical time, we can call it probably again Kala, again grace of God, that this bondage, this samsara becomes so acute that I have to get free from this samsara. And this moment comes in all our lives sometime or the other. And for some people, it comes earlier. And for Arjuna, this was the moment that he was converted from a warrior or a yodha to a samsari. Same thing with us. We are also warriors, yodhas in our own lives. But to feel that acuteness of this samsaritvam, a particular situation has to come. And this is the situation of the war, where Arjuna has fought plenty of wars. He has fought with Karna earlier, he has fought with even Shiva earlier, but then he did not feel this because that was not the time for him to feel this samsara and get this teaching. And now is the time. When Arjuna was almost ready to go, he lifted up his bow and said to Krishna that, no, no, I want to see what is happening here. And I want to see both the sides. And there the samsara of Arjuna started. Now let's see what this samsara is. Because we so many times talk about samsara, bondage of samsara, freedom from samsara. What is this samsara? Now I'm an individual. We are all individuals. And we are interacting or transacting, doing vyavahara with the jagat or the world outside. What is this jagat? This jagat contains other jivas like me, insentient objects of the jagat, and also the situations and circumstances. This causes or this forms my jagat. And I'm constantly interacting with these three: people, objects, circumstances, or events in the jagat around me. Now, when I start interacting and having transactions, over a period of time, out of habit, I develop a psychological and an emotional dependence on certain people, on certain objects, and certain situations. This normally we call it as attachment. But attachment is what? An undue psychological and emotional dependence on certain people, objects, and situations in the world outside. This we call it as attachment, or it is called as raga. Raga only means that I'm emotionally dependent on certain things for my well being, for my happiness. In their presence, I'm happy. In their absence, I'm not happy. So, my happiness, my peace, my security depends on these people or on these objects on whom I am emotionally and psychologically dependent. And raga not only involves this dependence, raga also involves getting rid of the situations, getting rid of people, getting rid of circumstances and objects which are not conducive to my happiness, which we call as dvesha. So, raga dvesha is the very first component of samsara, that is emotional psychological dependence. And once this raga comes, then it is immediately followed by shoka. What is shoka? That means I know very well that I don't have any control over the people of the world, the objects of the jagat, and also the situations and circumstances. And my dependence is so much that I want everything to be conducive to me all the time. And I know that it is not possible for me to achieve that. So there is a anxiety of losing them, fear of losing them, or fear that I may myself go away from them, or the fear that the circumstances may not be conducive to me because I have no control over them. That gives rise to shoka. What is shoka? Shoka again is the anxiety and the fear which I develop out of my emotional and psychological dependence on the world. World means we have to understand on a particular sector of the world. Depend on that. Also, that I'm all the time worried that I may have situations which I'm helpless to handle, unsavory situations, bad situations, and I may not have to know how to get out of it. All these are causing what is called as the shoka. Shoka is the emotional dukkha. Dukkha is from the point of view of the body, whereas shoka is the mental or psychological dukkha. That's called as the shoka. And once I have this shoka, because of my helplessness, the raga and shoka, I cannot get rid of this raga because I have invested so much in them for my psychological dependence that it goes along with it. With raga, with dvesha, my shoka also is constantly there. When I'm a victim of raga and shoka, when it becomes extreme in situations like this, then I suffer from what is called as moha. What is moha? Confusion. Confusion as to what is right, what is wrong, what should I do, what I should not do, where I should go, how should I deal with this problem. And a total helplessness, and the mind becomes as though it is stabda, where I don't know how to deal with this. This is what is called as the moha. So ultimately, what is samsara? Raga, shoka, moha. These three together is what we call as samsara. And all of us are the victims of this samsara all the time. But what happens is, and mind you, these three are not coming simply one after another. They're all together. Raga, Shoka, and Moha are constantly going on with each other. And actually speaking, they're inseparable from each other. When you have Raga, there is going to be Dvesha, there's going to be Shoka, and there's going to be Moha in certain critical situations. All of them gone together. This is what is called as the samsara. And there are times when, as I said earlier, the feeling of this acuteness of samsara, it's so suffocating that I want to get released from this samsara. I'm willing to do anything at that time to get released. I may take refuge under a guru, I may take refuge to Ishvara, whatever it is. And in this circumstance, Arjuna got converted from a warrior, Yodha, to a samsari. He was a samsari all these years, not that he was not a samsari, but he became so aware of his samsara that he had to get out of this samsara. And here, at this point, he becomes a mumukshu. Mumukshu in the self, a tivra mumukshu means tivra ichha, moktum ichha, a desire to get free from this samsara. And Krishna is already there as the guru, and the only thing he has to do is to surrender to Krishna and say, Krishna, I don't know how to deal with this, and you have to get me out of this situation. Now, how is it that this samsara comes about in Arjuna is explained in these verses from the verse number 21. He said, Senayoho ubhayoho madhye ratham sthapaya. Ratham me ratham sthapaya achyuta. Hey Achyuta, Achyuta means the most dependable one from Vyavaharika point of view, and the one who does not have any kind of a wasting or a chuti from the Paramarthika aspect of it. And now he says, Hey Achyuta, take me in the middle of the battle lines. Because why should I go there? He gets that desire to see who are the people who are going to fight with him. It's told in the 22nd verse and 23rd verse. The intention of Arjuna as to why he wants to be there in the middle of the battle lines. He says, Yavadetan niriksheham yodhukamanavasthitan kairmaya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. I want to, please take me this, my chariot there, and I want to see, I want to inspect nirikshe aham, whom yodhu kaman avastitan, those who have gathered here with a desire to fight this war. Kaihi maya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyami. In this battleground, in this battlefield, in this battle, asmin rana samudyame kaihi maya saha yodhavyam. Who are the people who want to really fight with me or have a war with me? And in the next verse, it's the continuation of why I want to be in the middle of the battle lines. योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं ये ये तेऽत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेः युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः. I also want to see who are those people who have gathered here, ye yete atra samagataha, for the sake of supporting this Dhartarashtra Duryodhana. Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddehe. Okay, Durbudde, this Durbuddhi of Duryodhana, there are people who want to support him, and those who have gathered here, Yuddhe Priya Chikirshavaha, people who want to be on the side of Duryodhana and fight with me in this battlefield. That Durbuddhe, for that Durbuddhi, or the one with the Durbuddhi, Duryodhana. Who are these people who want to take his side and fight? I want to see them also. Now, Sanjaya, who is reporting whatever is happening in the battlefield to the blind king Dhritarashtra, in the 24th verse, reports this, that Krishna took the chariot to the middle of the two armies. Yeva mukto ऋषिकेशः गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्. Now, Sanjaya is talking to Dhritarashtra and addressing him, He Bharata, He Dhritarashtra, Yeva Mukto Rishikeshaha Gudakeshena. Gudakesha means Arjuna. Arjuna thus spoke to Krishna to take the chariot to the middle, in the middle of the battlefield between the battling lines. What is the meaning of Gudakesha? There are different names given to Arjuna and also to Krishna. Gudakesha. Gudakesha means, see, Gudaka means tamas. Tamas, or dullness, sleep, tandra. So Gudakesha means Gudaka, the one who has won over this tamas and nidra. He is called as Gudakesha. And Arjuna is supposed to have won over his dullness, his sleep, Gudakesha. So he is addressed here as Gudakesha. Gudakesha spoke, Arjuna spoke like this to Krishna, and He Bharata, He Dhritarashtra. What did Krishna do? He took the Ratha. After all, Krishna is the Sarathi. He has to listen to the Ratha Swami, Arjuna. So what did he do? He went and parked it there. Then where did Krishna park the Ratha? Next verse, 25th. Bhishma Drona Pramukhatah Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kuruniti. Now Bhagavan Sarathi, Parthasarathi Krishna, took the chariot where Arjuna wanted it to be taken and said, Hey Partha, Pashya yetan kurun, samavetan kurun. Now Bhagavan Uvacha has not yet come. This is being reported by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra, and he says that Krishna addressed Arjuna, Hey Partha, Pashya, see, yetan samavetan kurun. See this entire Kuru clan which has gathered here to fight this war. And where did he park the chariot? Bhishma Drona Pramukataha Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam. Krishna did not park the chariot in front of Karna or Duryodhana, though they might have been there. He parked it at such a vantage point that Arjuna could clearly see people whom he really loved and had attachment for, Bhishma and Drona. And Kurun, Samavetan Kurun. Now there is something else here which Krishna is saying. Look at all the Kuru clan people who are here to fight this war. We must understand that on both the sides there are Kuru Vamsha Udbhavas, Kuru Kauravas, because ultimately Pandavas are also Kauravas, as I told you last time, they also belong to the Kuru clan. Of course, there are other people also who have joined the Kuru clan, but on both the sides, it is the same clan fighting with each other. And Arjuna not only saw his people whom he loved most, respected most, Bhishma and Drona. But what did he see? He sees or he saw his own people, his own clan on both the sides. Look at that. I mean, this is a time when his samsara really manifested. I'm not only seeing people whom I love, respect most, my grandfather, my teacher, because of whom I am what I am today, but on both the sides I am seeing they are my own people who are fighting this war. Suddenly, this samsara caught hold of him here. And then what did he see here? In the next verse, he says, this is the beginning of Arjuna's samsara. Now he says, Tatta pashyat sthitan parthaha पितृनथ पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेयः सर्वान् बन्धूनवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टः Vishidannidamabravit. Now this is the Vishadha of Arjuna is starting now at this point. So whom did he see? Senayoho ubhayoho api. Go to the 27th verse, second line. Senayoho ubhayoho api. On both sides of the armies, what did he see? Tatta apashyat. He saw sthitan, whoever was there. Who were there? Pitrun, elders who were equivalent to be his of like his father. Fathers. Of course, fathers here has to mean that he saw people who were almost equivalent or who had the status of his father. Pitamahan. He saw his Pitamaha, Bhishma, and many other people who were of the stature of grandparents. Acharyan, he saw Kripacharya, he saw Dronacharya, he saw Acharyan. Matulan, he saw uncles on both the sides. And then Bhratrun, after all, Kauravas are his brothers, cousins, they are brothers. Uh, Duryodhana may not feel that they are his brothers. Even Dhritarashtra said, Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. He did not even see Pandavas as his own. But Arjuna is a person who abides in dharma. Arjuna is able to see even that bhratritvam or the brother or the relative or the cousin even in his enemy. He says, yes, they are there, but ultimately who are they? They are my own clan. They are my own brothers. And putran, pautran, sakhins tata. Putran, Duryodhana's children, Kaurava's army's children are like his own children. And his own children are there. Abhimanyu is there. And Draupadi's 5 children from Pandavas are there. Bhima's son Ghatotkacha is there. So his own children are there on the other side who are fighting. So both the sides of the army, Putran, Pautran, even children or young men who are as good, fit to be his grandchildren are there. And Sakheens tatha, Sakheen, how many of his friends might be there? They may not be belonging to that clan, but how many people whom he has had a great value for as friends, they are also there. They have come to help Pandavas. They are the same people who have come to help Kauravas on that side. And Shvashuran Suhrudaschaiva. Shvashuran, in-laws, fathers-in-law, brothers-in-law. Basically, Shvashuran means fathers-in-law. Yes, of course, Arjuna had number of fathers-in-law also, and he did find that many of them on the other side were as good as his father-in-law, similar, sambandhis you can call them. Suhrada. Suhrada means those who meant good to Arjuna, those who wanted something good for the Kauravas and Arjuna to happen. And he saw all of them, Senayo Rubayorapi, Tan Samiksha Sa Kaunteya, looking at them, Tan Samiksha, having seen all of them, he saw what? There is really no enemy here at all. Who is there? Sarvan Bandhun. All of them are my bandhus, both the sides. There is really no enemy at all. And with that, what happened to him? Paraya Kripaya Avishtaha. A sense of great compassion came to him. After all, I mean, we cannot blame Arjuna. I mean, it shows his, his greatness, that in spite of such a situation, he could see, my God, what am I going to do? What have I started to do? And everywhere they are my own people. That's why he says Swajanam, Swajana, Swajana again and again in the next few verses. And he was overcome by Paraya Kripa. That means an extreme compassion. Now, compassion in the right places is correct. But the same compassion did not come in the minds of Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, and his brothers. But this compassion came in the mind of Arjuna. And if the other side also had even an iota of this compassion, the war would not have taken place. This was a war, Dharma Yuddha. It was Dharma against Adharma, not Bandhu against Bandhu. And therefore, it is said that this kripa or this compassion that Arjuna felt for all the people on both sides was not in the right context. It was wrong compassion in the wrong place. And in places like this, compassion is not right in this context. And this is a confusion. So I said he was a Yodha, he became a Samsari, and this Kripaya Paraya Avishtaha, this worry and this compassion and this feeling that, my God, there are only our people, that's the right thing. Yes, I'm seeing only my people everywhere. But then having this compassion was the wrong thing at a wrong place at a wrong time. And this whole complex of Arjuna's emotions, raga or attachment towards his own people, especially Bhishma and Drona, Kripa, and his favorite people on the other side. At the same time, Shoka, that what am I going to do? What is going to happen to these people? The sadness that I have to fight with all my own people. And Moha, the confusion of the wrong thinking, wrong compassion at the wrong time. And this entire complex of Arjuna's emotions is called as Vishadha. Vishadha may mean Shoka, but then this entire thing, this entire samsara that he felt so acutely is Arjuna-vishada. And this Arjuna-vishada, this Vishada or this samsara of Arjuna is what is giving the name to this particular chapter, Arjuna-vishada yoga. Now, how such a Vishada expresses in a person? We have all experienced this. At such a time where there is this kind of an acute emotion and a confusion as to where am I, what am I supposed to do, how am I supposed to deal with this, in such a situation, the Vishada manifests in the form of physical symptoms, verbal symptoms, and also the emotional symptoms. And what is going to happen now is Arjuna cannot keep quiet. He wants to express his Vishada, and the next few verses till the end of this chapter almost, Arjuna just rattles out and says, I am so confused and I am so sad. There is so much of shoka in me that I cannot fight this war. I don't know what I should do, what action I should take, how I should deal with this situation. So he starts expressing. He starts not only expressing his physical symptoms, he starts expressing why he is not able to really take any decision. Isn't that what we do? When we are confused, when we don't know what to do, when we are pushed to a corner, we try to find excuses and justify ourselves for doing something or for not doing something. Now Arjuna has made up his mind that he cannot fight this war. He's so confused. And in addition to expressing his physical symptoms, Arjuna also wants to justify as why this war itself is not right and why this war should not happen. And that is what he's going to express in the next few verses. And mind you, Arjuna is talking about these things. Krishna does not talk anything, Krishna does not say anything. Krishna is only a listener. Krishna is a true counselor. He is listening first. He wants Arjuna to completely put all his thoughts out, empty what you call as catharsis, in this situation. Any amount of trying to advise somebody is not going to work. First, the person has to get out and get rid of all that confusion. That catharsis has to happen. And when that happens, when the mind is calm and quiet, then only a well-wisher or a guru can start saying something. So the first thing that a guru does, first thing that a mitra does, first thing that a counselor does is to listen and allow the person to exhaust all his emotions physically and verbally. And this is how Arjuna is going to express his Vishada. So from the 28th verse, we see Arjuna Uvacha दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं संसृते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः. Now he's telling his physical symptoms. What is happening to him? Imagine a person like Arjuna, like that mom who asked me this question. This did not happen to him when he was fighting the other wars, sir, because he was fighting against the enemies. That time there was no question of any kind of a swajanam, though there were Kauravas on the other side at the end of the Virat Parva. But here, this is the time, the right time and the right place where Arjuna has to get converted from a Yodha to a Samsari and to a Mumukshu, which is shown here. He says, Drishtve mam swajanam Krishna. Hey Krishna, I am seeing only swajanas everywhere. I really don't see enemies at all. I see swajanam. Yuyutsum samupastitam. Those who have gathered here are all my swajanas. And when I look at them, the compassion in me just wells up. And I'm so helpless. Sidanti mama gatrani. My legs are feeling weak. I'm not able to stand. My knees are buckling. Mukham cha parishusyati. My mouth is dry. I cannot speak. Vepatuscha sharire me. My entire body is trembling. Roma harshascha jayate. I am having my hair stand on its end. And my hands are sweating so much, my palms are sweating so much. Gandivam sramsate hastat. My bow, imagine, Arjuna, I don't think he would have ever felt that his bow was slipping from his hands, because this bow is something with which he has even fought for Indra, fought his war against Shiva, from whom he got Pashupatastra. And such an Arjuna, now he says, my bow is slipping from my hands. Tvakchaiva paridahyate. My entire skin is burning. I'm feeling heat burning. Nacha shaknomi avasatum. Krishna, I can't even stand. Why? Bhramati ivacha me manaha. I'm feeling so dizzy. My mind is completely out of control and I feel I'm not even able to stand. I'm probably going to faint. Now, these are the physical symptoms of extreme Vishadha. All of us have experienced it. And we have experienced it many times. But when one experiences it in its acuteness like this is the time that one gets catapulted to the Tivra Ichha of getting free from this. And this is the time when Arjuna felt that This was the time that, I have to get out of this. I cannot do what I am doing anymore. I want to withdraw. So he talked about his physical symptoms like this. And then he felt that this is not becoming of me. I, Arjuna, the greatest archer, the greatest warrior, and I am getting all these symptoms. These are not good nimittas. These are not good signs. They are all not auspicious signs. They are all inauspicious. See how we try to justify ourselves. We see something when we don't want to do something, and then we say, see, this is there, this is a bad sign. Whenever this happens, I know whatever I'm going to do is going to turn bad. So it's not a good nimitta. And that's what he's telling in the 31st verse to Krishna. He says, Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava na cha shreyo nupashyami hatva swajanamahave. Ahave, last word, means in this battle. Ahava means battle. In this battle. In this battle, swajanam hatva. If I am going to kill my own swajanas, Shreyaha na anupashyami. I don't see any good coming out of it, hey Krishna. Okay? Because these are all nimittas. Nimittani viparitani cha pashyami, hey Keshava. Hey Keshava, I am the one, I am seeing these viparita, nimittas. Viparita means inauspicious ones, inauspicious signs I'm seeing that this kind of a war where I'm going to kill the Swajanas, this is not going to bring any good to any one of us. So, hey Keshava, Keshava means again a slayer of one of the asuras. Hey Shri Keshava, he says, then in such a case, even his desire to fight, his desire for victory completely goes off. What is it that I want to fight for? And what is it going to give me anyway? So he says here, Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna, 32nd verse, Nacharajyam Sukhani cha, Kim no Rajyena Govinda, Kim Bhogair Jivitena va. So he says that, hey Krishna, Nakankshe Vijayam, I'm not interested in victory anymore. If I have to kill all my swajanas and get this victory, what is the value of such a victory? Nacham rajyam sukhanicha. Okay, at the end of this war, I will win my rajya back and probably I'll have some sukha. But can I really have any happiness by getting this rajyam, winning this my kingdom on the graves of so many people? Will I ever be happy? So many people, my own clan, my own people have died in this war. And can I really build any kind of an happiness or a happy Rajyam on the dead bodies of all these people? Kim no Rajyena Govinda. What do I have to do with Rajyam? I really have nothing to do with Rajyam. All these days I have stayed in the forest. Okay, some more time, rest of my life. What am I going to do by getting this Rajyam at the cost of the lives of all these people who are my own people? Kim bhogai hi jivitenava. What this bhoga is going to give me, or what even my living is going to give me? For whose sake should I live? These are my swajanas. For whose sake should I win this Rajya? For whose sake is this victory? And bhogair hi jivitenava. So this bhoga and even my living for this bhoga, what value does it have? I don't even mind if I get killed in this. That's what he's saying. See, he's expressing his, Vishadha in this way. And you can see that Krishna has not spoken a word even now. And next he says, 33rd verse. I'm going a little fast here because I have already told you, what it really indicates and depicts and how Arjuna is representing or expressing his Vishadha. So in the 33rd verse he says, Yesham arthe kankshitam no Rajyam bhoga sukani cha ta imev sthita yuddhe pranans tyaktva dhanani cha yesham arthe kankshitam naha. For whosever sake I wanted my clan, my swajanas, my bandhus, my bandhavas, my people to be happy. Now, with this Raja and with this Bhoga, if they themselves are not going to be there, they are going to lose their lives. Pranans tyaktva dhanani cha. So, in this ime avasthita, okay, yuddhe pranans tyaktva, what is the use of this Raja and Bhoga? For whose sake? Can I enjoy it alone myself? I cannot. It's not for me alone. I want to share this happiness, this Raja, this Sukhas and Bhogas with my people, and they are not going to be there. And who are these people? Acharya pitarah putraha tathaiva cha pitamahaha matulashvashura pautraha shyala sambandhinastata. Again, same people whom he saw, the relations whom he calls Svajana, all these are the people who were explained earlier in the 23rd and 24th verse. So all these Sambandhis are going to lose their lives for my sake. And I'm going to get this Raja, and they themselves are not there. What is the purpose? Therefore, hey Krishna, because you must understand this, he's speaking to Krishna because there's nobody else there. There's only Krishna and Arjuna. So, by context, we should understand that Arjuna is speaking and Krishna is a silent, quiet listener here. So, 35th verse he says, Yetan nahantumichhami gnatopi madhusudana api trailokya rajyasya heto kim nu mahi krite. He says, Yetan svajanan na hantum ichhami. I don't want to destroy them. I don't want to kill them. Gnatopi. Even if I am killed, it doesn't matter. I have no desire to live and win at the cost of all these people. Therefore, I cannot kill them. See, this requires the maturity. Arjuna is a very mature person, a dharmic person, the one who has waited for so long, to fight this dharma yuddha. If he has to feel this, there is definitely a certain maturity on the part of Arjuna. But unfortunately, this has expressed itself in a wrong place at a wrong time when nobody else is actually sharing these feelings. So he says, Yetan na hantumichami gnatopi madhusudana. Madhusudana is the name of Krishna because he destroyed a asura called Madhu. Now, see, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Keshava, Madhusudana, and he's bringing it to Krishna's notice. Hey Krishna, you fought the Madhu, Keshi, Madhu, all these asuras you have fought. Remember one thing, they were your enemies. They were the enemies of Dharma. They were not your Svajana. It was very easy for you to destroy all the asuras. Maybe only that his uncle only must have been the one who was related, but otherwise all the other asuras and rakshasas you have fought and destroyed, they were not your sajanas. So Krishna, there's a difference between you are destroying the asuras and me destroying these people, because I am going to destroy my own people's svajana. Therefore, Trailokya Rajyasya api hetoho kim nu mahikrite. What am I going to do even if I become the Mahipati or the Raja of all the three lokas? Trailokya. Forget about this particular earth or Raja. Even if I am given the Adhipatyam of the entire three lokas also, I am not going to really, I don't think that this is the right thing I'm doing. And in the next verse, in the 36th verse, Arjuna says, Nihatya dhartarashtraannaha ka priti syad janardhana papamevashtrayedasman hatvaitanatatainaha. This is a very important verse where he says, even if I kill Duryodhana and the Kauravas who are atatayis, he says, hatva yetan atatayinaha. What is an atatayi? An atatayi is very loosely translated as a terrorist. But then there is an explanation of what an atatayi is. Who is an atatayi? It is said that Agni Dahaha, the one who burns your home or who sets fire to your house. Garadaha, the one who poisons you or the poisons anybody, the one who gives poison. Shastrapani, the one who attacks with a shastra on a nihatya, the one who does not have any arms, and a person comes with arms and attacks an unarmed person. Then he says, Dhana apahaha, the one who steals other person's resources or money. Then Kshetra apahaha, the one who takes away or robs the land of somebody else, which is happening every day here. We are seeing that land grabbing, land mafia, is an atatai. Then Dara apahaha, that means those who burn another person's dwelling, poison with the intention of killing, wield astras or shastras, on people who are not armed, who use arms with the intention of killing, who grab somebody else's land, who grab somebody else's money, who grab even the patni, or dara or patni of the other, parastri. So these six, the one who has is called as atatai. Now Duryodhana is everything, isn't it? Duryodhanas and Kauravas have tried to burn the house of Pandavas in that wax house episode. How many times they have tried to poison Bhima? Poison they have done. They have tried to attack them many times. Number 4, they have the land which belongs to the Pandavas. They have literally grabbed it. And they're not willing to give even a small piece of land which actually belongs to Pandavas. And they have taken all their wealth. Not only that, they have even, kidnapped or whatever their wife, Draupadi. So from all these 6 points, the Kauravas, especially Duryodhana and Dushasana, are atatayis. And it is said in the Dharma Shastra that an atatayi can be killed without any further inquiry. It is there in the Nyaya Shastra. I mean, in the Dharma Shastra where Nyaya is to be given, justice for an atatayi. If it is confirmed that he is an atatayi, he does not have any recourse to any mercy. He can be killed. He is an atatayi. So, this Kauravas, especially Duryodhana, etc., they are atatayis of the first order. Secondly, they are adharmis. And this is a dharma yuddha. And it is the duty of a kshatriya like Arjuna to finish them off, doesn't matter if they are swajanas, to protect the land from these atatayis. It's not only against Pandavas that they have been atatayis. They have been atatayis to the entire society. Who knows what all other things they have done other than the treatment meted out to Pandavas. In spite of that, though Arjuna is justified and the war is a dharma yuddha, and it is the duty of Arjuna to see that the atatayi Kauravas are destroyed, and cannot help it. In this particular thing, some innocent people, innocent bystanders are going to lose their lives. There's no doubt about it. But for the sake of establishing dharma, Arjuna has to do it. But now he's so much surrounded by his samsara or Vishadha, raga towards his own people, Swajana, Shoka, my God, I'm going to finish them off. Moha, doesn't matter if I get killed, but I don't want to do anything for him. Acute samsara or Vishadha is now affecting Arjuna, and he says, Yetan atatayinaha, okay, after having, if I kill them, nihatya, papameva ashrayed asman. If I kill these atatais, I will only get papa. Actually, he will not, because it is the dharma of a king to protect his kingdom from atatais. But here, look at this confusion. So this confusion and compassion and the righteousness, the rightness of his action, it's totally out of place. It is totally out of context. And he says, even if I kill this Atatai who deserves to be killed, I will only get Papa. He thinks that he's going to get Papa. And Dhartarashtran, these Dhartarashtras, the sons of Dhritarashtra, who, that's why he's saying here Dhartarashtra, he does not say Kaurava, because he also belongs to Kaurava clan. So these Dhartarashtras, Dhritarashtra's putras, though they are Atatais, what am I going to get by killing them? I'll only get Papa. And then he says, 37, Tasmannarhavayam hantum dhartarashtraन् swabandhavan swajanam hi katam hatva sukhinasyama madhava. Hey Madhava, Krishna. Madhava here means Maya, Mayaya Adhyakshaha. Adhyaksha, or the presider of Maya Shakti. And he says, Tasmat, therefore, Hey Krishna, na arha vayam. We are not qualified. I am not qualified. Vayam, we. He speaks for everybody now. He was saying aham all this time. Now he says, na arha vayam. We people are not qualified hantum, to kill whom? Dhartarashtran, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Who are they? Swabandhavan. Since they are our own bandhus, we are not qualified to kill them. Swajanam hi katam hatva sukhina hasyama. How can we be happy by killing our own people? Hey Madhava, hey Krishna, how can we be happy? Justification. See, doesn't want to do something. He knows that he has to take action. And as a Kshatriya, as a Dharma Yuddha, it is his duty to do what he has to do. But then he is not capable of doing it. Wrong thinking, moha, confusion. So then he says, Yadhyapyete na pashyanti lobhopahata chetasaha kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra dohe cha patakam. He says, Krishna, these people, though they are atatayins, they are not able to see the problem of killing the swajanas because of their lobha. Lobha apahata chetasaha yadyapi yete na pashyanti. Yete means these atatayinaha, these atatayis, dhartarashtras, because of their lobha, because of their greed for this land and all the sukhas, they are not able to see this, what I am seeing. What's the use? I see something which the other person is not able to see. See, I am seeing this. They are not able to see this. And I can clearly see kulakshaya kritam dosham. And by my action, by our action, there will be only a nasha of our kula. Kula means what? Clan. Because on both the sides, the majority of the people are Kuruvamsha Udbhavas. The majority are Kuru clan people. Kula means a clan or a family or a group belonging to the same, same family background. So the same background. So here's Kula Kshaya Kritam Dosham. Krishna, I will get the dosha or the papa of destroying the kula. And of course, when the kula is destroyed, along with kula, mitra dohe cha patakam, I'll fall down by the papa of mitra droha. After all these people who belong to my own kula, my own clan, they are my mitras. Unfortunately, they are on the other side. They are no, really speaking, they are not shatrus to me when I look at them. They're all my own clan. And what will I get by fighting with them? I'll destroy them and I'll only be doing what is called as kulakshaya. Kulakshaya dosha, that particular papa will come to me, and mitra drohecha patakam. Okay, and then now Arjuna is not happy with only this much. See, we all have seen that when we are under a lot of stress and when we want to express ourselves, sometimes we go on talking. We go on talking whatever comes to our mind. We don't see the rightness or wrongness of it. I just want to express. And most of the time, I'm just saying the same thing again and again with a little different context and trying to justify myself as to why I feel like that. And the justification includes many lame excuses. Some of the excuses may seem very, very relevant to me. Some of the reasons I give that why I don't want to do this may be very relevant to me, but relevant only to me because I'm completely overpowered or shadowed by my moha, my confusion. But any other person not really involved can feel that this is not the right attitude. This is not the time where one has to give up. This is the time where one has to really stand firm and steady and do whatever is my dharma. I have to follow my dharma. Doesn't matter, it may give rise to a few little problems here and there. Maybe significant problems it may, they may give, but then there is something which has to be done. It has to be done. It cannot be prevented. Like a surgeon who has to amputate a foot has to do it. He cannot say, this is my swajana, what will happen, this thing, what. No. I mean, if it has to be done, it has to be done. And this is the situation where Arjuna is. But then, from the 39th verse onwards, from the next verse onwards, Arjuna wants to give other explanations of what will happen if there is a kulakshaya. And this he's telling Krishna. As if Krishna doesn't know what is a kula, what is kulakshaya. But here Arjuna is trying to express his whatever, that kind of a thing which is coming out, udgara that is coming out. He's trying to explain that. So what does he feel about the kulakshaya and what is going to happen in the society and what will be the consequences of the kulakshaya in the society is going to be said in the next few verses till the end, and that we'll see in the next session. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avastha Shambhavi Mestu Prasannostu Guru Sada Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukhamapnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.